When he mentions fighting Amora the Enchantress, this is another super deep cut. People have been asking about her in the MCU since that first Thor movie. She's another character they kept almost using in the Thor movies, but then changed their minds at the last minute. When they got to Loki Season 1 and created the Sylvie character, she didn't exist in the comics before Loki Season 1, but now they started to actually write her into the comics Harley Quinn style, where they appear on TV before they appear in the comics. When they did that, they said that her character is meant to be a combination of Lady Loki in the comics and Amora the Enchantress because of the way Sylvie's powers work, kind of enchanting people. When they did that and they revealed the inspirations for the character, I assumed it meant that they would never actually do a real version of Amora the Enchantress in the MCU, but because Loki is mentioning her here, it means that Amora still exists inside the MCU. Closest we've actually gotten to seeing her on screen is during Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1. Some of you will remember this. Way back during Season 1, they did a version of Lorelei, who is Amora's sister, meaning at that time that she did exist in the MCU. Like, there is a version of Amora out there somewhere. Maybe we'll see her in a future magic-based story. She'd also work well during something like Agatha or Wiccan or the Scarlet Witch stuff that they're doing in the future. So there's a couple different places they could use her. When he mentions Jane Foster and Darcy, those are both from the events of the first Thor movie, because remember, this Loki did not experience Thor the Dark World when the original Loki faced Jane Foster and Darcy again. The Maria Hill name drop is also a reference back to that first Avengers movie, and there's the joke about him mentioning Heimdall twice. This is both because he messed with Heimdall on many occasions over the thousands of years that he was living in Asgard. Really good example of this was the D.B. Cooper scene during Season 1. The flashbacks explained that Loki is D.B. Cooper inside the MCU, but they would have hijacked the Bifrost to do that, so Heimdall would have been pissed about that. He also froze Heimdall during the first Thor movie, so probably not happy about that either. I also think the reason he mentions Heimdall twice during this scene is because Tom Hiddleston was actually ad-libbing and just naming off a whole bunch of names super quickly off the top of his head and just accidentally said his name twice. They mention Fandral, Volstagg, Hogun. Those are the Warriors 3.